Welcome, everybody, you especially, to the Glitter Boom Girls podcast. We are so thrilled to have you here. I'm Robbie-Ann McPherson over on the East Coast.
And I'm Amy Asbury over here on the West Coast.
We have, well, all the episodes are special, right? Every podcast episode is special to us. Yeah. But this one I'm excited about because we are talking about the women who inspired us as young girls, the bad bitches. 80s bitches. And we say, bitches. Yeah, we need like a jingle, like 80s bitches. These are the chicks, you know, some of them were no good. Some of them were evil. Some of them were just tough ladies, you know.
Some of them were just hurt people. Like, seriously. Some of them just had a hard life and they became hardened by life. That's what I feel like, at least.
I think you're right. Yeah. So, Aim, you're the child of the 80s. So let's start with you. Give me some smack about an 80s bitch.
Well, I was about 13 when I started watching the one and only Dynasty and realizing, first of all, whoa, with the outfits.
Right.
Realizing, okay, these women are wearing outfits that are never repeated. So that was the first thing I noticed. And, you know, the one with the craziest makeup of all, and I was really into makeup, was, of course, head bitch in charge, Alexis Carrington, Colby, Morell, Dexter, Rowan, Carrington. You know, they always have a million last names like Liz Taylor. But I'm going to call her Alexis Carrington Colby. That, I think, was my number one where I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, she was, she could be downright evil, but didn't you root for her in a way?
I feel like she cared about her children.
Yeah.
I mean, she kind of favored some of them, but she cared about her children. You know, first of all, Dynasty, larger than life, powerful, glamorous. Where is it set? Denver or Boulder? Denver, I think.
Yeah, it was Denver.
And it was all limousines and horses, and somebody owned a football team, and there was a butler. I'm sorry, not a butler, a major domo. A major domo. It was like the male butler. I don't know. In case you didn't watch Dynasty, the whole backdrop is in, you know, the mountains of Denver. Although you never really see snow except for in the beginning.
Right, because it was all shot in L.A.
It's all shot in like
Santa Monica,
Brentwood or something,
or the MASH set. Yeah,
the MASH set. Anyway, glamorous, and the very first season, I don't think we even saw Alexis. It was mostly this wide-eyed, beautiful Crystal Carrington, and she's marrying this, you know, very powerful man. Everybody's wearing tuxedos and everyone's drinking champagne, and
Blake.
She's trying to acclimate to his family. Anyway, at the very end, there is a trial, and somebody walks in with this giant hat, and they never show her face, but it's Alexis, and you're kind of like, who is that? You know, and she's, yeah, and then, you know, season 2, you're like, whoa, she was just like this really straightforward, ballsy woman wearing, you know, fur hats, satin turbans, feathers, veils, sequins, of course, shoulder pads, ruffles. I mean, it was outrageous. And of course, Nolan Miller, the one and only Nolan Miller, designed all of these costumes.
It was him and Bob Mackie all through the 70s and 80s,
Mackie?
right?
Oh, I didn't
No,
know
I mean,
that.
it was Nolan Miller and Bob Mackie. They were like the go-to if you needed some kind of a sequin gown or like feathers.
Everything was
or
coordinated. Everything had a matching purse and the matching shoe, and it never repeated. And he was said to have designed her wardrobe darling after the one and only Joan Crawford, which is why you saw all the shoulder pads and the fabulous, outfits. And I felt like the bitchier the woman, the more eyeshadow she had on, is what I noted, at least.
Wow. So that's like it's like a meter like a bitch meter.
It was a bitch meter, and I'll get to her, but also, who else had the crazy eyeshadow? But Abby from Knots Landing,
Oh
not
yeah,
unlike the
Donna
makeup, but
Mills.
Donna
You know
Mills. But
what?
sticking with Alexis,
Yeah, I was gonna say
she played with the big boys,
right.
and she was not afraid to put her claws out. And there was many cat fights on the show. There was one where she, throws Linda Evans, Crystal Carrington, the one and only, always in soft focus, as somebody once said, into this lily pond, and they're just throwing each other around like rag dolls, like a rag doll.
Yeah, like
And
a rag doll. Now
it
that
was
was that
so
we have to
funny.
dissect that fight a little bit
Yeah, that
because
fight was crazy. But that fight was, I think, the second one. The first one, they were throwing each other, and you could see that, you could totally see it was like two stunt men. They're like these giant, like
with the wigs
guys
on.
in wigs or something. But around her she had this little artist studio on the property that, through some kind of loophole, was still hers. So she's like, darling, I'm moving back in, And Crystal Carrington's like, your ex-wife is gonna move onto our property. But anyway,
Wait. So
they get in a big
was
fight.
the water was the one where they're in the wading pool? Was that was the second fight or the first fight?
I think that was the second fight, because I think the first fight, I could have it wrong, but they were throwing each other, shattering vases. She had all these, she was painting, so she had all these canvases out.
Alexis was
like painting. Oh yeah, Alexis was, it was her artistic side, but she was throwing her around. It was wild, and Alexis loved to slap people, and on the phone. Sorry.
Oh, do you need to get that in?
Great fun.
You should
No,
answer
it's scam likely, guys. Scam likely.
Oh, scam likely.
But anyway, great fun
Unknown
to watch
caller.
Alexis. And to me, I believe, in my head, I had not seen a character like this, and I was very intrigued. Very intrigued, and I tried out some of her moves on the middle school kids.
You tried out Joan Collins' moves on middle school kids?
I did. I tried to slap someone once. I think I told you guys, it slapped me right back. And then a couple times I tried to like spin on my heel and say something bitchy. She was inspiring.
Yeah, the cold stare. Joan Collins. Okay, now let's just this is what I was going to say before. Let's give like a huge basket of love to Joan Collins. Dame Joan Collins.
Dame, darling.
Yes.
Joan Collins.
Sister of Jackie Collins, right?
God rest her soul.
God rest her soul. I mean, these two, they're like, they have that glamorous beauty.
Satin turbans, darling.
Yeah, exactly. Satin
Italian
turbans,
cigarettes,
fake eyelashes that look. It looks like they grew out. Like it looks like the fake eyelashes grew out of their eyelids. Like they were.
I mean, the glossiest of red lips, the perfect red, bright red manicure.
Right.
Tons of ring.
And she wore those outfits. I mean, some actresses. Not everybody could have pulled off Alexis Carrington like Joan Collins. And, if you check on her Instagram, I'm not sure what her handle is, but if you just search Joan Collins on Instagram, she has a fabulous, darling Instagram, because she pops up with some kind of vintage photos every now and then. And then it's mixed in with like her life now. And according to her Instagram, she totally lives the life now that you would expect,
Of
like
course.
lunching, darling, with, all these like back in the day, wonderful, famous people. I mean,
people who buy and sell empires.
Yeah. Exactly. And she's just there. Like, it is fantastic. She's fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. And I, in fact, you know what I'm going to do? I think Dynasty is on Vudu, isn't it? It's on something. I am totally buying that.
I bought the seasons,
and
so
yeah,
I don't know.
I'm down with like, I bought V, the miniseries, not to sidebar.
Oh my gosh.
The original miniseries that like everyone stayed home and watched those couple of nights.
My mother watched it. We had to go outside and play, But listen, when you watch Dynasty, please note there was an episode where Alexis is shooting at like clay pigeons or something, and wearing this hunting like tweed outfit.
Right.
So random. Let's put that up on our website, because I think she was wearing a crazy red beret. That her whole outfit for going shooting or hunting, it needs to be displayed. Needs to be displayed.
You know I'm Googling this right now, right?
Please find it right now, and then find her in one of her turbans, because I always love a turban.
Okay.
And I really can't wait to wear a turban when I am a woman of a certain age.
Alexis Colby skeet shooting.
Oh, is that what it's called? Skeet shooting, yes.
Let's see what comes up.
I believe it was that. I don't think she was shooting an actual...
Oh, God, the images that come up. Oh, my God.
Wait, so what is she wearing? Tell me.
Oh, here it is. Oh, comes right up. Oh, my gosh.
Tell us what you see.
We are putting this up.
Is it the brightest of reds?
It is... I don't know if you can see it, because folks, I have actually a Dynasty background on my Skype right now, so Amy, I can't hold this up.
I see Alexis's ruffled gown.
Yeah, I'm in a party.
Well, tell us what you see. Describe what you see.
Okay, so I'm looking. Well, wait, I gotta put my glasses on because I can't see this. Okay, so
I remember a hat of sorts.
I am looking at. Oh God, there she. Okay, so she's got a shotgun, double barrel shotgun, a red beret, a red buffalo check scarf, a bright plain red poofy blouse, like poof sleeves,
as
and everything.
As one does,
right? And like 20,000 buttons up the forearm.
Certainly.
And she has. Oh, that's Kilroy. Sorry, everybody. And then she has red buffalo check pants on.
It's outrageous. Now, was that when she shot at Crystal's horse and Crystal fell and had a miscarriage or some wild thing? I think it was that. Well,
it looks... You know what? I'm looking at pictures, but it's episode 19.
You guys.
Oh my gosh, Amy.
What?
It's Dynasty, episode 19, Viva Las Vegas.
Oh my.
And apparently, wait, there's a line in here where one of them says, "You miserable bitch."
Oh, of course.
I can't wait to start this series. I can't wait.
Oh, so funny. So funny. And so she was a bitch, yes. But she also was very goal-oriented. She ran businesses. I think she took over Colby Co., which was the rival to, Blake Carrington's oil empire. Colby Co. was the competitor, I believe, and she did run that company. She was a great businesswoman. She was a hard ass, and I quite liked her. I said, okay, there's another type of person that one could be if one wanted, so I liked her.
Yeah, the actress and the character. I looked at Joan Collins, and I felt like if Joan Collins wanted, she could be Alexis Colby Carrington. Like, I never thought that Joan Collins was, such a mean person. I mean, I don't know, who knows, but she certainly seems nice. But you just got this feeling. It wasn't like, oh, just an actress playing a part. You got a feeling.
A stretch, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't a stretch. Like, there's some Alexis Colby in Joan Collins.
I believe so. It came far too naturally. And the funny thing is she kind of, I wouldn't say she met her match, but so when your son marries, her daughter-in-law came in, one Heather Locklear, as Samantha Josephine Dean, Sammy Jo Carrington, who ended up marrying Stephen. She came in and she just, Alexis could not stand her, but that was another 80s bitch. Good old Sammy Jo, trying to get, her inheritance, hiring a Crystal lookalike to kill Crystal, and, all these crazy things. She gets this woman to impersonate Crystal to trick the bank into releasing her inheritance, and, she tries to blackmail a couple people, and, she just does a whole bunch of bad things on her own. Looking very 80s, because it was kind of the second half of the 80s when Sammy Jo got her meteor parts when she was probably dating Tommy Lee, because I see lots of fringe and denim and tassels and Bon Jovi-esque
the
outfits.
rock and roll era had kicked in.
I kind of see that with her hair. She's got the the kind of femme mullet, but anyway, yeah. Love Sammy Jo.
I just texted you, Amy, and we're going to put these up on, we'll tweet them, and We'll put them up somewhere on our Instagram. I texted a picture of Crystal. I think it is the episode where her horse goes wild, because there's a picture of Linda Evans, just like, I mean, she's probably sitting on like a bench and a fan's blowing, you know.
Oh yeah.
They had the stunt guy do the horse thing. And then I sent you a picture of her outfit, of Alexis's outfit. So we're going to put those on our Twitter and Instagram.
Match the red, matches the beret. She's got the mutton chop sleeves. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, so check out Glitterbee Girls on Instagram and you'll see.
So
I'll put it up.
I think that was the worst thing to me. I couldn't really forgive Alexis for... I feel like she did it on purpose, guys, if I recall.
She did everything on
Crystal
purpose.
Could have died. I
mean, but you know what?
darn.
Crystal, you know...
Oh, Blake.
I have to say, as messed up as it is, I was team Alexis. Like, I know you're not supposed to be, and I know
like
that
Sammy Jo. Oh yeah.
Sammy. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? I'll reserve my final assessment, my final analysis, until I rewatch the series. Like, maybe.
And please note, not only are there many bitches on the series, and also there was a Sable Kobe, darling. She was the cousin. She was a great bitch. Lots of bitches and big hair on the show.
Yeah, she was the brown-eyed English actress, right?
That's right. Sable. I thought that was a good one. Anyway, every room had these fresh flowers. I always noted that, and I liked it. I was like, oh. But anyway.
That's true.
Yes.
Of course, on the set, they're like moving them around.
Right?
Like they take the flowers from the dining room.
And then when it turned like 86, 87, all the sets were like mauve and lavender. You know, everything turned from they really switched up the set with the colors.
They
that were in
redid
vogue at the time.
The Carrington Estate.
And then so next on the list, I would like to bring up the one and only Falcon Crest.
Oh yeah.
Which was about some North Californian vineyards in the fictitious Tuscany Valley. And the person who ran such vineyards was named one Angela Channing, played by Jane Wyman, who was married once to Reagan, ex-wife.
Right. Now, okay, this is how...
She was a female J.R. Ewing, basically, ladies.
This is how bad of a bitch that, and I mean bad in a good way, that Nancy Reagan was. Because Nancy Reagan stole Ronald from Jane Wyman, right? So, I mean, holy cow. You know, those two, formidable women, very formidable women. And Jane Wyman was a great star, like one of those, studio glamour stars back in the day. And I admit I did not watch Falcon Crest. There was something about I don't know, it was too rural or something for me. I don't know. There was just something.
Well, I will tell you a tiny bit about it. Jane, I don't remember exactly everything about it. I do remember Angela Channing had kind of bubble hair. She was an older woman. She did always have kind of one of those silk ties or bows about her neck and fur. And she had little pearl earrings and, you know, the drawn-in brow. And she was just always trying to gain control over this vineyard. People trying to take over Falcon Crest, and she would always try to, you know, get them murdered or something. But the funny thing, guys, I don't know if anyone remembers this, but the one and only Lana Turner, who played Jacqueline Perrault, was one of the best enemies of Angela Channing.
Say that name again.
Jacqueline Perrault. But anyway, I don't know if she didn't call her. She called her Jacqueline instead of Jacqueline.
There is no one on earth named Jacqueline Perrault. Like
so
that only exists.
She had an affair with Angela's husband and all this stuff. Anyway, so Lana Turner was a woman of a certain age. She looked great. Guys, she looked great. She had a bunch of nips and tucks, allegedly. She was in furs. She was in diamonds. She still had her platinum do.
Yeah, a
Gotta look her up
stunningly
also.
Beautiful woman.
And
oh my God.
And I think she, honestly, it was said that Jane Wyman and she did not get along in real life. And
really?
they get her off the show. They did not get along. Two divas. And not only were those two on the show, those two divas, but we could talk about these another time. Kim Novak was on the show.
Why did no? Okay, no. Wait a second. I just have to pause for 1 sec. Freaking Jane Wyman, Lana Turner, and Kim Novak. I mean,
on the same
talk
show,
about
and
another movie star with
Fairchild,
oh my God, why was I not watching the show?
I don't know. We didn't know about all this, but anyway, there's lots of people on the show. I don't remember exactly how it all went, but anyway,
Lorenzo Lamas was on there. How do you say it? Lorenzo
Lamas was on there. Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was like the son, Jane Wyman's son, right?
I believe so. And she wanted him to take, I don't really remember, but yeah, there were some really great diva moments. And I think it would be a good one to visit. And then after that, I would like to bring up, I think, Robbie, you watched this one, the one and only Donna Mills of Knots Landing. She played Abby. And this was the kind of a sideshow off of Dallas because it had to do with Gary Ewing from the one and only Ewing family.
Yeah, it was a spinoff.
Is that what it was? So you remember this show? You remember Donna Mills as Abby?
I do. It was Donna Mills and Michelle Lee. They played neighbors and they all lived in this cul-de-sac.
Right.
You know, that was Knots Landing. And that had a great
wasn't Joan Van Ark like
Joan Van Ark, she was the third one. So it was like these three power divas and they all lived in this cul-de-sac and it started.
So Knots Landing was the town?
It was like the little like the street, like
okay.
I mean it was a town but it was like their little cul-de-sac, right?
So it was their little cul-de-sac.
Yeah, so it started out really like just these neighborhood scandals, like affairs and kind of soapy stuff. And then it got crazy like they all do, right? Like, I don't know, the writers think people are bored or maybe the ratings go down and suddenly they bring in like kidnappings and crazy shit and people having plastic surgery and hidden long lost twins and it's like.
And I do remember this. I will say this about Donna Mills. I do remember there was an episode where somebody was calling her Cookie and telling her to go make babies, and this was kind of the time when women were back in the workforce, and they kind of looked up to her because she basically was. I can't remember. She said something like, "And don't call me Cookie," and got in her Mercedes when she like kind of narrowed her eyes, and she's like. Basically running some big business and she just showed that is not who I am.
She's another one.
She had some crazy lines like I can have your husband anytime I want him. Like she would say the craziest things.
Yeah, she was definitely a juicy villain and interestingly another great Instagram. Donna Mills. Check out her Instagram. Yeah, first of all, she looks fabulous, still gorgeous.
It's Donna Mills.
Yeah. And every once in a while, I've seen on her Instagram, she posts like a picture of her and Michelle Lee and Joan Van Ark and like they have lunch. It's just so cool. But that was a real, I remember it was like appointment TV for me the first couple seasons. And I think it kind of splintered and got crazy after a while, but
didn't Nicolette Sheridan join in the later 80s and early 90s as Paige Matheson?
They sort of went in the later, like how I don't know how long it went. What was it, like 4 seasons, 5 seasons, something?
I just remember there was a season that everybody loved and Lisa Hartman played a rock star named CG Dunn. And she was wearing like one of those twisted headbands.
Oh yeah.
And then those shorts that are like panel shorts, like red and white. And then on the back, it's white and red, like the George Michael shorts.
Yeah, yeah.
I just remember her as a rock star. And, she died on the beach and it was like this big deal and everybody was very upset. But I think that
everyone was
that
very
show,
mad.
was that Knots Landing or was that,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that was Knots Landing. Anyway, but yeah, that was one of the big ones. There was a lot of good characters on that show.
Yeah, I see. If Lisa Hartman was on it, I don't really remember. I may have sort of, phased out by then. But yeah, the first 2 seasons are so great, so juicy, totally juicy, and I think, I've seen Donna Mills in other roles where she plays like a more vulnerable person, like TV movies and some Hallmark stuff, and that, or Lifetime stuff, that kind of thing. And she has a much broader range than just playing like this stone cold.
But she had the cool hair. She had that hair that was like the puppy dog ears that came straight out.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a different look from the perms that everybody had. So I liked that.
I think it was like a little more California-y, like not so coiffed. It was definitely coiffed, but it wasn't like a helmet.
Yeah.
It
was very stiff.
It was more like an antenna, like a.
It was very punk rock in my head.
Yeah. A little more modern.
So those are some, I guess, obvious great bitches of the 80s. Which ones do you remember and love?
Great bitches of TV. I think the biggest 80s bitch was Madonna, right?
Ooh.
Like, to me,
yeah.
I look back at when she first kind of popped on the scene, and holy cow, like nobody had ever seen anything like that before.
But what made her an actual bitch, though? Like, in your head, why bitch?
Because, and let's remind you guys, I want to remind everyone. Yeah, it's not, we're not saying bitch like it's a bad thing.
No.
I think the fact that she really displayed being in control of her own destiny, in her music, in her videos, even when she was being like a playful, with the boy toy belt and all that stuff, she still had this attitude like, I'm in control and I am my own boss, that sort of thing. And what a lot of millennials and younger people might not realize is that when she came around, she was only preceded maybe 1 or 2 years by Pat Benatar. Pat Benatar had a bit of a different sexuality, but still a strong woman. But here comes Madonna, who somehow straddles this fence, right? Where it's like, I'm alluring, but I'm also in charge. And it was really interesting. It was a crazy supernova. Like, whoa, who is this chick?
Yes.
Like, whoa, I have never seen anything like it. And of course, later on, we find out that her launch and her characterizations, I mean, she's pretty calculated in a smart way. Like, she was, really planning out her outfits and her look, and she.
I love those outfits. I love that they just made no sense sometimes. I loved it.
The
Very
whole Borderline video. I mean, I wanted to run out and buy like every single thing she wore, and I want to cut my hair off and dye it blonde, and all this stuff.
I love that her tongue was so red. I was like, oh, I wonder if she ate a candy. I remember thinking. It was really beautiful because to me, the early video days were a mirror shatters and then a white horse walks
and
through.
It's all
and
blurry
then
and smoky.
Fabric like glows. Then there's a cage where some women are rocking in the cage. Oh, wait, that was a scorpion. And then there was always some kind of, you're in a thing of mirrors and there's a whole bunch of you. Like
or there's a fire somewhere.
But yeah, it was
people staring at a fire, running from a fire, standing in front of a fire.
Those themes, maybe they just had good cinematographers. They had the money to spend on a good cinematographer.
I think a lot of that's true, but I think it's also how smart she was, realizing this medium is here to stay. Look where she is now. People have different opinions about her career, and sometimes I think there are some erratic messages coming out of her camp there, or her on social media, but she built a huge empire that she is the queen of, and whether you love her, hate her, think she sucks, or think she's the living end, you cannot deny that she was a very smart woman and definitely created something out of these dreams and goals she had. And
so she really was a bad girl. She was kind of I mean, and people know this. I mean, we know this about Madonna, but she definitely needs to be included in this list.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, come on. She was the ultimate bad girl.
Right?
Yeah. Who else do you think?
Well, let's go to the movies, because we talked about TV. We talked about Madonna. I think there are a ton of this type of bitch, which is the female high school bully.
Ooh, yes.
Right? Like in all the John Hughes movies, you know, there was some chick who, you know, had something to prove. And although 16 Candles there wasn't really a nasty.
I feel like she was pretty nice. She even said hi to Samantha.
Right.
She said hi. She was crying. And she kind of gave her a little hello wave.
She goes, "Hey, how's it going?"
Yeah, she was actually cool.
Yeah, it wasn't her fault that she was so. I could name 10 guys right now that would kill to love me.
Oh my gosh! But you know who was? I think the girl in Pretty in Pink, Benny. She was kind of a bitch.
Well, and Sam's sister.
Oh gosh!
Right?
And you spoke of her.
She was you know, Sam, you're acting like an asshole.
Yeah. She was like lemoning her elbows and all that.
Right. And then she takes 4 Valiums before her wedding and stumbles down. Oh my
gosh, like muscle relaxers.
Yeah.
And she was a bitch.
Teapot.
But she wasn't like a bad girl. She was just a straight up rude, selfish, narcissistic type of bitch.
Right. Like she, you know, she says to Sam, "I've had men love me before, but not for 6 months in a row."
Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah. Wow.
But okay, so Some Kind of Wonderful.
Ooh, well, who was the bad girl?
Oh no, we're those people who know the lady's face but can't think of her name.
No, it's Leah Thompson and it's Mary Stuart Masterson, but I don't think.
Yeah, but no, the bad girl. What was her name? I don't remember.
I don't remember there being a bad girl.
She drove that little tracker car. It wasn't a Jeep, but it was like a cute little.
Oh, that chick! It was like a Suzuki Samurai or something.
That's what it was. It was a white Suzuki Samurai.
Oh, and she had on. I feel like her name was Shane or something.
Shane, you got it. That's what it was.
What was her deal?
She was the one who was forcing Leah Thompson to break her date with Eric Stoltz. Remember? And they were in the car and she's driving and she's like, don't you have something to say? You know, to Leah Thompson, because they were like, you can't go out on a date with him. You know, like it was like,
oh my gosh, that's so mean.
Yeah, she was pretty mean. She was like
Shane.
The female equivalent of Steph.
Oh, from Pretty in Pink. Yes.
Yeah, she was
correct.
A female Steph.
And she had like a big blonde perm, right?
Yes.
Like the girls in Heathers. Oh gosh, she looked like one of the girls in Heathers. They, I think, were the worst.
Yeah, that was a bad girls movie. Holy cow.
That was scary. Looking on it now, it's very dark and it frightens me.
Yeah, that was not in a bitches are funny kind of movie. At least I didn't think it was very funny.
I think people thought it was funny, and I remember looking at it. I think it was 89. And I was like, okay, this is way too much. It's way too much for me. It was in 88. Oh gosh. But they were bitches. I mean, they were rude. They were mean, and they had their little. Oh, it was 89. Sorry, guys, 89, 88. I don't know. But yeah, they had their little plaid, you know, blazers with the shoulder pads. They had the perms. They had the brooch. You know, that little look, kind of the big bangs.
Man, you're describing my whole wardrobe in like 1987, 88.
And then Shannon Doherty was one of them, right? Shannon Doherty. There was the other two were blonde.
Wait, Shannon Doherty was in Heathers?
She was one of the Heathers, yes. And Winona Ryder was the girl who was trying to get away from them.
Yeah. Oh God, I don't remember Shannon Doherty.
Yeah, you have to Google it. She had kind of reddish brown hair, and she had the big bangs. And then there was the two blondes with the curly hair. Yeah, they were the three Heathers, and they were the most awful, bitchy, bad girls. To me, worse than anything of the 80s.
Well, they murdered somebody by making him drink Drano or
people.
whatever it was, right?
Yeah, all kinds of things. They're poisoning people, you know. There was, Heather Chandler was the main one, I believe. And then there was Heather Duke was Shannon Doherty, and I forget the other one. But anyway, yeah, crazy.
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture right now.
Dark.
Now I remember Shannon Doherty. I couldn't picture her, but she,
Well, you don't think of her first, but yeah, they were bad.
yeah, like you think of Winona and the two blondes, right?
Oh, Heather McNamara. Oh, that was the other one.
Who was the bitch in your high school?
You know what, guys? It was me. But I wasn't mean. I wasn't mean to people, but I was the bad girl, one of them. Um, I went into school wearing way too crazy of Kelly Bundy clothes. Initially, I overshot my vision, and everybody was making fun of me and calling me names. And then I had to turn into like the bad girl and to get everybody off my back.
Okay.
So
Okay, but
like,
let's break this down
guys?
though. Like, the psychology, because here we have a special moment here. You are now a resource. So what made you be a bitch? Why? Because you're not a bitch now, I know, but
I'm
why?
not, but you know what? I was watching tons of MTV videos, and these women were like all cool and these really high heels and these really tight clothes, and that doesn't mean you're a bitch, but I mean, so I thought the outfits would look good, but anyway, I became a bitch because I would get beat up if I didn't become the beater upper, you know what I mean, or at least pretend to be. So I had to come back a little harder. I got tattooed. I got the purple hair. I had blue hair, and they kind of left me alone. But I had to become a quote unquote bad girl, to, as protection for myself, basically.
Right. So it's just like you said,
yeah,
like earlier, where you said, hurting people, or no, hurt people, right?
Well, it's true. Yeah. And I was having family problems. If you guys have read my books, I had all these family problems. My parents weren't paying attention, which was evident in my wardrobe choices, getting to the counter and being checked out and being purchased by my mother.
Right.
Wearing the craziest outfits. I look like the person who's coming in to entertain at the bachelor party, and I'm 15. But anyway, yeah, so I was the bad girl. It was really an act, kind of, just to be like,
Right.
Oh, shoot, I'm going to get jumped or something, We had a lot of tough kids at the school.
That's got to be a different category of bitch, right? Because like Alexis Colby Carrington,
I think she'd go toe to toe with somebody if it came down to it. She did fight.
no, but I mean, she was not. That wasn't an act. Like she was. If you look at her character, she was a stone cold bitch, right? So, are there just people that are just bitches right to their marrow? Or are most of the bitches like Shane in Some Kind of Wonderful? What's her backstory? Is she just...
I think it's your parents. I think it's partially the way you were raised, or it's partially impulse. Like, or if you're just being selfish, you just don't care and you want to tell people off, and you don't have any empathy of what it might feel like to be told off. You're going to go ahead and say whatever comes to your mind, and you're just not going to care.
Yeah.
So there are people like that. There were people like that at my school. Nobody messed with me, but I did look scary. I tried to make myself pretty, but I definitely tried to come off as like
tough.
I'm not, as we said out here, I'm not the one. Like go find someone else. It's not me, because
Well, I mean, I'm going to reach back to the 70s for this bitch, but Pinky Tuscadero, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, she was tough. Like she was beautiful.
I just remember Leather. I remember Leather Tuscadero. Right? No,
Leather was Pinky's cousin.
Oh, the cousin. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and they both had that, the two claps and a finger gun.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, or no, that was Leather's. Leather's was the two claps and the finger gun.
I remember Leather's. Yeah.
Pinky's was the, the snap pop thing with the.
Wow. Yeah. So what was her story? I don't remember her really.
She was a love of Fonzie's, and Fonzie was completely of course, we're talking about Happy Days for some people might not remember.
I'm sorry, Fonzie.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, I mean, Pinky Tuscadero. So this was a 2-part Happy Days show, and it was the Demolition Derby, and Pinky was going to be in the Demolition Derby. And she ended up knocking herself out.
Oh my.
And there was this whole drama. Like there were these two guys Oh God, the something brothers.
Please tell me they're not named Lenny and Squiggy.
No.
Just
It was
kidding.
it was the something brothers. I'm blanking on the mariachi brothers or something like that. And they were this total caricature, and they were after Pinky for something, and I don't know. So there was like a whole romance going on, and
you know what? It says Pinky's the older sister of Leather, by the way.
What?
Carry on, though. That's what it says on Google, but go on.
Well, Google's wrong.
They
were cousins.
They were cousins. Oh, here's Pinky. Oh, my. She had red hair.
Yeah, she had red hair and a pink scarf, and she was dressed all in pink.
Vehicles, and she rides a motorcycle?
Yeah, she was the female Fonzie. That's why Fonzie was so in love with her.
The Malachi brothers.
Oh, Malachi. Okay, it was Malachi. Okay. Yeah, it was the Malachi brothers.
Look at them. They're morons.
They were these like cartoon character villains, and it was a big deal. Like this was a two-parter, like a to be continued.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it was pre-shark jumping days.
Okay, good.
Pre-shark
Glad
jump,
to hear
that. If I recall correctly, but
Malachi, so funny.
That was a big drama, that the Pinky Tuscadero story arc, and apparently the actress who played her did not get along with Henry Winkler.
Stop it! How do you not get along with Henry Winkler? That's
you know what?
dumb.
It's ridiculous. I'm telling you, I had the absolute stellar joy of meeting Henry Winkler once.
Of course you did. I don't know why that does not surprise me.
Well, I mean, it wasn't like I hung out with him, but it was like, hi, how you doing? But he is absolutely one of the sweetest souls. I mean, it just emanates from him.
Yeah,
it's in his eyes. It's in his how he treats people, everyone, and how he kind of shakes your hand. Like, he is a sweetheart. And from all the reports and stuff in Hollywood, he was fine to work with, and she had a tough row, that actress Roz, what was her last name?
Oh, I should look. I was looking up Count and Rocco Jumpy Malachi.
Yeah, there was a whole backstory with Pinky and those two.
Oh my gosh, so she was the definite bad girl then.
Yeah, she was 70s bitch, but she was like that, like a tough biker chick. But still
funny.
Very feminine and pretty.
Roz Kelly.
Roz Kelly. Thank you.
And of course, Susie Quattro, I recall.
Oh, yeah. A love is alive, and so it begins.
Pinky and Leather. So people were really into it. So that was a good thing then.
Right. It was a very highly rated, dramatic. You know how dramatic it was when there was a two-parter? Like the sweeps month, they'd have some crazy... like a bomb blows off and you don't know who lives or dies.
Or like on Dynasty with like the Moldavian massacre where like everyone's lying on the floor with blood all over them. You're like, who's coming back?
I remember going, Moldavia? Is there a Moldavia? I was like, what the heck is that?
Like, what the hell is that?
Before we go, are there any other honorable mention? I mean, these aren't by any means the only 80s bitches. This is just what we had time to talk about. But any ones that you're thinking of?
Some will come to me. I don't know. I just thought those were great. I love the ones we spoke about. And maybe some of our listeners can give us a few reminders of some others. We also have our website, glitterboomgirls.com, which has our podcast on it. But yeah, let us know on Twitter or Instagram, whatever 80s bitches and stuff you want. And I am going to put up... who did we forget? Go check it out on Instagram, because I'm going to put up Alexis Colby Carrington's outfit. Yes, and the photo of Linda Evans, quote unquote, flying off her horse. So yeah, thanks for listening to us, you guys. We cannot express how much we love hanging out with you. It's just, this is so much fun for us. So it really is, right? I know. Yes, I love it. I love it too. Like I just feel, the vibe. Like everybody's like, oh yeah, or like no, or I don't know. Maybe maybe they're all in my head. No, I love it. I feel joyous. Right. Anyway, we are the Glitter Boom Girls, and authors Robbie-Ann McPherson, Amy Asbury. Make sure you check out our books too, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks for listening.